Alrighty, folks. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. This is not the 3D market commentary. I don't know why that opened up there. This is what we opened up. All right. So we'll be getting started with the nailing FX and crypto. Today is January 12th, 2022. My name is Bojan Petreski. The disclaimer is there for your use and your protection, that this is for instructional and educational purposes only. Let me just load up my other screen here with the other streams because they just finally popped up. There we are. We're good. Okay. Now what I meant to do. All right. Looks like we're all set here. Or so I think. All right. Let's go ahead and get started. So this is the agenda for today. We'll be looking at the current market environment. We'll be looking at actually, that's fine. The trade reviews, we're going to see if any closed trades. We're going to manage any open positions, which we don't have at this time, and then we're going to execute based on new opportunities. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with that. I just want to double check. Yep, looking good across the board here. Good. All right, so let's go ahead and open up. This is our chart here. Let me just double check from last time when we traded. What do we have? So 22. Yeah. All right. So we had a couple of trades from last time. We had actually the last time we met was the 22nd. We had a couple of trades here on GBP USD on the daily. So we're going to pull that one up. This is the screenshot we took. We had a buy limit at 32.59. We're going long, so let's go ahead and open up GBP USD and take a look. This was the 22nd, so we're going to replay it as if this is the first time we're seeing it. So we're going to go to the 1222 right there, 550. You can do that. All right. This was climbing up pretty substantially when we took it, when we had the analysis posted, rather. Let's see here. I'm not really seeing a little arrow that would tell me that it got filled. So 32.59 was basically right here as our entry, and no, it does not look like it ever filled. So that one is just canceled out for now. So that would have been here. The horizontal is at 59. Right below that, rally base rally, and it looks like it never came to. Let's just double check, but doesn't seem like it did. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, it doesn't look like it ever came to, which is okay. It's nothing bad. Um, you know, just a mistrade, that's all. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and change that one. And the other one that we did have was on the dollar franc. That was a short at 92.3. So we were looking at 92.3 with a very close 1-2 combo here on T1 and T2. So let's take a look at that. Dollar Swiss franc. I must have had an alert from some time ago here. Delete that. All right, so on the 22nd, we were looking at short. I'm not seeing the little arrow, so this might have not filled either. 92.3. So that's the 22nd. So 92.3 would have been this UFO here, around at least. and yeah, that would have been, you know, that would have been invalidated by now. I don't see it filling. This is probably the one that I was looking for here, uh, the 23rd, a retest of it, but it never came to. So that's also a canceled trade. And then we have on the daily the dollar yen, dollar yen on the 22nd. I'm sorry for just 1 second, folks. Alrighty, folks, I'm back. Sorry about that. Alright, let's see now. So on the dollar yen, we were looking to go long at 113,774. So 113,774. I think I know why. Let me just see something here. I think I know why we don't. Yeah. Let me just connect this to the other one. Okay. Let's connect it to the TradingView paper trading. And yeah, there's our order. So that's why I was a little confused why we're not seeing anything here. Yeah, looks like this one didn't fill either. So let's go ahead and cancel that one. And the other one that didn't fill either. I thought it was just something like it maybe expired or something, but as far as I know, we put them to expire a month from now. So that was very strange. So could have saved us some time there, right? All right, let's go ahead and cancel all these trades. And GBP USD, don't remember putting that one on. And I don't, oh no, we do have it. It's on the daily. That's the one we already saw. Right, never came to. Cancel that as well. All right, so we got 12 canceled. Okay, it's time to start searching for new opportunities. Let's go ahead and get started with that. Just double checking here that everything's good. All right, let's start off with the dollar yen. Just fix the chart a little bit. And I'm going to go over the analysis, how we go about it and everything, so we can go from there. All right, so first things first, actually, I'm going to switch to the 4-hour maybe. Yeah, it's looking a little better, just so I can explain it a little better. So the first thing that we're looking at is the following, right? The first thing we want to focus on is the bottom of this chart here, which is the auto climate. That's giving us essentially permission to look for opportunities in a current market direction. So as of right now, we see that we have a thick red dot, which is a confirmed down climate. So that means we are looking for short opportunities. We have permission to look for short opportunities. If it's a thin dot, regardless of color, that means we should just sit on our hands. The market is not confirmed just yet, and therefore we should just look for opportunities elsewhere. In this current scenario, the current market climate is a confirmed down climate. It is the fifth one out of typically five. Even though it's 4.07, we always round it up. And the reason why is because we want to give as much time to a climate to work as possible, right? Because this is not, exact science. This is taking into account a deviation. And when it comes to deviation, it could be, 4.01. That should still account for 5. As long as it's not below 4.01, then you should be counting it as 5. So as of right now, we're looking at this is the extent of the climate that this goes down for. We're going to still analyze it because it is a valid setup. But what I will do, though, is I will put in an entry if it matches our criteria, and then put an expiration limit, meaning if this doesn't work out in the next 4 hours, then we're just going to go ahead and cancel this trade. All right, because it's a pretty strong move down that we're seeing here. So we might have already missed it, but this could just as easily pull back up and pick us up on the way down, right? All right, so the second thing that we're going to look at is still on this higher time frame, this common time frame as we call it, the 4-hour. We're going to see if we have a setup by utilizing something else that is common, which is a 9 exponential moving average. That's giving us a value here of 115,281. And we're going to see if this exact value, 115,281, is enveloped in a UFO. Okay, and as of right now, I already see it that it is within this area here, and there is a UFO there. So that means we do have a setup. Funny enough, actually, if we were about half an hour early, we would have been picked up on this setup and already in profit. But the UFO is still there, still valid. So let's go ahead and set it up as if this is the first time we're looking at it. So we're going to be selling the 115, 158, and I'm just going to round that down to 115.15. I'm going to do take profit and stop loss. So my entry point is a little bit built before this UFO just to allow for wiggle room because different brokers, look at these differently. There's always a bit of a difference between them. The general move always goes in the same direction across the brokers. But again, liquidity providers aren't, you know, um, going to give you the exact same, pip value as, for example, what we're seeing here, which is the the paper trading values that we see here on TradingView. For example, if you're using Oanda, or if you're using um, I don't know, Lucro or any other ones that you might be using, they may have a little bit of a difference in their spreads between the bid and the ask, and also the current pip value. Ultimately, though, when they start moving the right direction, they all move the right direction. So it's not like it's a difference between that substantial of a difference, but the entry point, you want to give it also a little bit of extra to work with. So looking at the stop though, 115.312 is our stop. Now for the stop, and let me just pull up my, because I always get these wrong. That's why I always refer to my little file here that I have and I'll show it to you as well. It's literally just a quick little text file that I've made for myself that I have printed out here, but I can't find it on my desk. So as you see here, when we are buying, this is what we do. When we're selling, which is what we're doing right now, we're rounding now for entry. For the stop, we're going to round up plus 7 pips for the stop. So as you see right now, we're 115.312. So we're going to round this up at 332. And we're going to add another 5 pips, which is going to be 7. Now, okay, so we're good because this starts at 37.6, so we're fine. All right, so 22 pips on that, 150 for risk. And now for time in force, right? Because we said this basically, if we give it another, right, this is the fifth 4-hour candle out of 5. So we're only going to give this another, and I'm going to put it on here. It's going to be till today, and I'm going to give it another, 720. So we're going to give it another 4 hours from here. So by 12, actually, let's just put it by 1 just so we're safe. All right. So if this doesn't fill by today at 1 p.m. Pacific time, it's going to go ahead and get canceled. All right. That just also prevents us from having to worry about, oh, did we enter a trade and it was an overextended climate or this and that. So we're all good. So 115.15. Stop loss stays the same. Now, if the profit target, the final profit target, will be the first opposing UFO on this common time frame, the 4-hour time frame. Right? This is the 21 minute. This is the 4-hour. So right now we see that that's 114.516. So 114.516. And same thing here. If you see for the target, we're going to round up and give it 2 pips. So we're going to round up to 2, and we're going to give it another 2 pips. So that's going to be 4. All right, and that's that. The time in force stays the same. If it fails, we're going to go ahead and adjust it because we don't want it to cancel this take profit. But as I said, this would have been wonderful to do, as we see here, 10, so about less than half an hour ago. It would have been great because this would have already been in the profit. So it is what it is. There's always going to be trades like that. They're always going to, uh, show you they worked after the fact of you putting in an entry, and that's okay. All right. That's that for this one. Folks, are there any questions, any comments, anything? I'm just checking across the chats here. I think if you follow our channel, this is basically like a review of what we do. Um, if you're new to the channel, this may seem a little bit overwhelming to you. Just remember that that's okay. We all started somewhere and got to somewhere else thanks to hard work. So let's go ahead and keep going here. All right. So the dollar Swiss franc also dropping fairly strongly. Already spread out on the ATR too far, so probably not going to catch a whole bunch there. Let's go on the hourly and see if we can maybe get in on this move. Pretty substantial move. Um, so the moving average is at 92.075. 92.075 is here. All right, so a potential entry would be up here at 92.133. This is just falling off a cliff, though. Already down 0.75%. We can go ahead and. Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, one thing I forgot to do. Let me just go ahead and do that. This was on the 21-minute and the 4-hour. Let me just go ahead and take a screenshot of this. All right. Forgot to snap a screenshot because then we won't know what happened to it, right? 112, and this is USD JPY 4-hour setup. Put that there, and we're good to go. Now let's go back to this dollar franc and see if there's any chance that we could get in on this. So if price were to bounce up, and we're gonna go in here at 0.92136. And remember, we always round down on the entry, so that's 9213. And as far as the profit and stop loss, so our stop loss is 0.923 even. And there's obviously no rounding up on this. So we're just gonna add 5 pips. So that's gonna be 92.35. Okay, 22 pips. Funny enough, that 22 pips was the first trade, 22 pips is the second trade. All right, now this one, as far as time and force, no, this is actually going to be even shorter than that. So, as you see right here, currently on the fourth one down out of typically 5. So, we essentially have 2 hours for this to work. So, let's go ahead and do that. So, we have today at 9:25. So, I'm just going to put it until 10. So, today at 10, this should get canceled if it doesn't fill. And then same thing again, sell, and we're going to do the 9213. Same stop loss. Final target though, all the way down there at 0.91028. Round it up to 3 and add 2 more pips, so that's 5. Okay, so that's 108 pips. Same thing until 10 a.m. and there it is. All right, and of course, before we forget, so we don't have to keep coming back to it, we're going to take a screenshot of this and go to 2022 0112. This is USD CHF, and this is the 1-hour setup. Okay, so that's that for that one. Are there any requests to look at any of the pairs, minors, majors, doesn't matter? If not, I'm going to go ahead and switch to crypto for a little bit just to see, because the crypto world is moving right now fairly rapidly to the upside. And I want to see if maybe we could catch a swing trade to the upside, because as you see, things are just green across the board. I don't think, okay, DAI was a little red there, but other than that, as you see, green across the board with Bitcoin at 2.5%, Ethereum at 4.7, BNB, Sol, Axie, all of them up quite a bit. Um, I myself hold several positions. I got a couple of Bitcoin just uh, unleveraged trades. I got a couple on Cardano leveraged trades long. Um, so just double checking the stream here. So no requests for uh, no requests for currency pairs. So let's go ahead and get started. So let's take a look at Bitcoin first, because more or less I would say they pretty much follow what Bitcoin does. Uh, all the other ones, there are some exceptions. I'm not saying no. All right, so right now, as you see, it's currently down for the 15th day on as of today, even though it's finally touching on that 9 EMA. No UFOs nearby, all the way up to 45.9 is the nearest one. So let's go ahead and look a little bit closer on the 4 hour and 21 minute and see if there's a potential entry if we were to get in on this. Unfortunately, there isn't. So 42,700 is current moving average. That's right here below this UFO. Now it is a confirmed climate, the first one, right? It says five because the software has to count these other ones before here, but I don't. I simply I draw the line and I count from the confirmed. So this is the first one out of typically 6 4-hour charts that this could be going up for. Let's see if we can find something on the 21 range on Bitcoin to see if we could potentially take this to the long side. I don't believe so. Yeah, there's pretty much nothing there. Let me just fix this up real quick. Yeah. Okay, so nothing to do there on the 4 hour. Let's take a look at the hourly with the 8 minute and see if there's something we could do. Okay. Well, that's interesting. So, looks like there might be. At 43,300 is the moving average, which, as you see, is, there is a giant UFO here. Um, there's a pretty substantial UFO here. So, what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to go ahead and take this at market and just going to buy at market. We're going to do a stop loss at 43,267.02. Just going to round it to 67 and I'm going to give it another 20 bucks. So 47. Okay, so 43, 247. So we're looking at, well, you know what? It's not going to be easy to do that like that. So let's just go ahead and take it at 43, 650. Let's call it with $150 risk. Looking to get out if it goes against us at 43,247. Same thing here, like that. Risking 150. So we're going to go ahead and buy that. That should fill right about now. Now let's do the same thing now at 43,650. Oops. 43,650. Stop loss stays the same. Profit target is at 45,550. And that stays the same as well. Oops, what did I do? Okay, it did fill, but I don't see my final target. Let's see what happened there. All right, so these six are working. The stop is fine, 247 across the board. Um, yeah, both filled. Fill price is different, which is okay. Price. I'm not quite sure why it. What happened there? Okay, I'm just gonna. Looks like only half of it filled. Because 0.372 was the position. So let's go ahead and set it up again. And this one will be a little bit less risk, obviously, because we're already at. So we're just going to go ahead and set it at 590. Take profits, stop loss stays the same there, which should be less now. But our final target will be at 45,500. Sorry, 550. Right there. And put that on. All right. Now we're looking good. Okay, it filled. So we're looking good. Nice. Okay, so that's our take profit up there. The final take profit. But my T1 take profit went away. So it's down 45, 147, 43, 668. Yeah, I'm not quite sure why it did that, but it canceled out my T1. I don't really understand why it did that. Because we should have a T1 right here around, 1 to 1, wherever it was from our entry. I think now because it's showing 3 orders going in, and yet, all right, I'm just gonna cancel this real quick and just reset it because that's a little frustrating. 43, 550. Stop loss is at 43. Oh, that's great. The UFO's gone. Oh boy. Okay, so that's 1 to 1. So 43,953 would have been our first one. So we're gonna do that. Go ahead and buy 150. All right, and then now we're gonna do the same thing. 43, 550. Stop loss stays the same. Our final target will be 45, 550. All right, buy that too. Okay, there it is. We got everything set up there. Just gonna take a screenshot of this and snap that. 2022 0112. This is BTC on the hourly setup. Okay, and we're gonna see what's going to happen. I'm curious to see, like, because it looks like it's gonna fill. I believe it's gonna touch and fill. I want to make sure that these two stay here. I'm not quite sure why it's just canceling them out. I know I'm not doing anything wrong. So that's our T1, that's our stop, and both of them. And that's our T2. Okay, come on, Bitcoin, go ahead and fill. checking everything here across the board, looking good. Okay, there we are. We are filled, and now it's staying, and now it canceled. I am speechless. I'm not sure what's going on here. I'll have to look into it myself, but we're gonna take half the position off here at 43,951 if it gets to it. Um, I don't know why it's canceling the order. It's beyond me. I'm really just flabbergasted. I don't know what the hell is going on with it. Fills the right quantity, gives you average fill, blah blah blah, and yet, it only does one take profit. I'm not quite sure what's going on there, but we know what the deal is. We need to take some off here. Just gonna put that here as well. Take half off at 43,951. I think it was the right area there. So it's the whole point of doing two separate orders, right? So that doesn't happen. All right, let's go ahead. So that's that on Bitcoin. Let's take a look at Ripple, XRP, also moving down fairly strong, a little bit there. Actually, let's go ahead and look at Ethereum next. They're all pretty much going to look very similar to each other, but let's take a look here. So current market price is at 33.54. Moving average is at 33.08. Actually, one disqualifier right there. It's on the 7th hourly candle up out of typically 6. So we're just going to go ahead and skip on that. With Bitcoin, oh wow, actually, look at that. Same situation. How did I not see that? Folks, I am so sorry about that, but sometimes you get focused on. No, actually, I'm sorry. We took it on the 4 hour, not on the hourly. That's what it was. Took it on the 4 hour. Let me just double check that. Look at a screenshot. I think it was on the hourly. No, it's on the hourly. So yeah, that's the advantage of screenshots, right? So we took it on the hourly. The UFO did disappear, but that was definitely the stop. However, it was on the 6th candle, hourly candle up out of typically 5. So we're gonna go ahead and skip on that. We're gonna close this and leave it alone. All right. So that's that for that one. Let's see if we can find something else. All right, let's look at Ethereum on the 4 hour. First one up out of typically 7, so that's good. 3230. 3230. Okay, so there's several UFOs here. So 3231. The problem is, though, if it does fall over 100 something bucks down, the moving average is going to be well below this area. So we're not going to be able to take that. Let's look at the hourly with the 8-minute. Overextended. Let's look at XRP. 6th one out of typically 5, also overextended. 4 hour and 21-minute. First one, there we go. Out of typically 6, 76.50 is the current price. And it's at 78 right now. So do we still see this being in the UFO, the moving average? Do we still see the moving average, which is currently at 76.50, still being within this UFO here if price comes down? I would say probably not. It might be, close to somewhere here where we don't have a UFO. All right, let's look at BNB. Okay. Okay, so BNB 479 current price. It's on the what is this? One, two, three, four, five, sixth one up out of typically six. So it's still we can still analyze it. It's just do we see this crashing down that quickly in what do we have in 16 minutes? I would say probably not. So we're gonna skip on that. All right. Litecoin 4 hour first confirmed climate up 132.12. That's within here. Oh, I'm sorry about that, folks. Just 1 second. All right, folks, I'm back. All right, so looking at Litecoin, as we said, probably not a whole lot to do here either. All right, 134.86. Okay, and it's currently at 135. Sorry, 137. So this UFO down here might not be a bad idea as an entry point because it's at 137. If it falls down, you know, $4, it's probably going to be somewhere in the middle of it here. Um, let's go ahead and put it on over here, 132.77. But I'm going to encompass this area on the bottom here as well. All right, so that's what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to do a buy at 132.75, right? The stop loss though is going to be at 131 even, right? 0 0. And when we give it another 20 down below, so that'll be 130.80. All right, that's a 1-to-1. We're going to risk $150. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and buy that, and we're going to make it good for a week. I guess that's fine. That's not a problem. All right, and as a final target, so we're going to do the same thing, buy at 132.75, take profit and stop loss. So stop loss stays the same. The take profit though is going to be 138.26. And we're going to buy that too. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a screenshot of this. Two. 12. This is LTC on the hourly setup. Did we just do the same mistake of last time? Oh my god. All right, we're gonna cancel that. All right, folks. Yeah, so I didn't see that. There was no break in between these. Look at this. It's on the 24th hourly candle up out of typically 6. So that is way overextended. We're gonna cancel this whole thing right now. Because as you see, it's the 24th. I get so used to looking at these, pretty much moving the same that you don't even pay attention to some of the stuff, but you should always pay attention and double check. All right. So let's look at Sol. Same thing. It's currently at 148, moving average is at 141. We don't really have a UFO to support us somewhere here on the 130s, 135s or 138s. All right, folks. Let's go ahead and continue here. 147, so that's up 5%. That's actually a little bit more extended towards the upside. First one on the hourly. This is tempting to maybe take it long here at the 136, but by the time it gets there, I don't think it's going to work. Mainly because if this were to fall down to $10, will the moving average fall down to the 5? Right? It's doable. I'm not saying no, but it all depends on how it gets there, and we're not going to be watching it. So let's see what we got here. All right, just give me 1 second, guys. I got my little one. He woke up an hour early. All right, folks, I'm back. All right. Last but not least, let's look at ADA Cardano. Second one up out of typically 5 on the 4 hour. 120.78 is the moving average. All right, so it looks like we do have a couple of UFOs. This UFO right here at 120.33, which is probably going to be missed, and it may be something down here lower that gives us an opportunity to get in on this. Yeah, I would say this one here at the 118s again. Yeah, that's much, much more like it. So let's go ahead and put that on. So we're going to buy at 118.59. And the stop loss is going to be 117.42. Make that 22. Okay, 150. Gonna go ahead and buy that there. Okay, looks good. And then same thing, I'm gonna buy at 159. Stop loss remains the same. However, our final target is going to be up there at 131.55. There we go. All right, let's go ahead and take a screenshot of that. Save it. 2021. 2022. So this is ADA 1 hour. I'm sorry, 4 hour 7. 4 hour setup. Again, this is, even though it says here it's on the 6th one. Let me just move that there. Even though it says it's on the 6th one, as you see, it's only 2 confirmed out of typically 5. So we got some time for this if it were to pull back down, and go back up. All right, that's that. I'd say for this one. Let me just, where did it go? Sorry. Here we are. Okay, we're all set. All right, if there's any questions or comments, I'll just open that for now for questions and comments. If there aren't, we're going to go ahead and close the session and call it a day. All right, looks like we're looking good across the board. We got the screenshots. The markets are moving. Let's. Bitcoin is kind of still staying there where we found it. um, but again, on the hourly, it was overextended, which is why we had to cancel it. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm sorry about the couple of interruptions we had there. That's life sometimes. I'll go ahead and catch you next time. Thank you so much. Take care.